Hello, welcome to Sparking Talk series. I'm Assistant Professor Valairat Kasemsin or Ajanti, who will be your host for today. I have to admit that I'm so excited to have you all here and to have the conversation that we are going to have today. Today is considered a really lucky day since we can have three young bloods who are surely one day will be ones of a powerful social changers. There is something about them that is quite interesting, the way they work together on a contest on these unusual days of the pandemic. Furthermore, one member is not in Thailand. However, they group together for a contest on Kaengkhoi, the creative green city, and won the first prize for the contest organized by the Association of Siamese Architects under Royal Patronage, or known to us as ASA. So I hope you have a chance to learn from them. Let's welcome our guests. Mr. Thale Kankha or Thale, Miss Suthathai Diyomwat or Jan, and the last one is Mr. Natanon Loha Watanawasi. Please welcome our guests.
Hi.
Hello สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ Hi Jan Hi ทะเล
Okay.
Hello.
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Welcome all the audience also. So could you please introduce yourself in the long script?
Okay, so let's start the presentation slide also, right? We can start it now, or
Yeah.
or
Maybe
we
we
can
all-
introduce ourselves first, right?
oh yeah, maybe we can introduce ourselves.
Actually, yeah, introduce. Yeah.
So we are graduate from the class of 2018 together, and so my name is Thale, as already Janti say, and so I am currently studying the master degree in the Basalt School of Architecture. Okay.
Hi, I'm Suthathai Diyomwat. You can call me Jan. Currently, I'm an architect working at SoA+D Architects, an architecture firm based in here, Bangkok, Thailand. I also graduated from architecture program.
Okay, and I'm Win. I graduated in interior architecture program, and currently I'm working as an interior designer at Bensley Design Studio with Bill Bensley. And thank you, Ajati, for inviting us. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are glad to be here.
Yeah.
We are glad to have you here also. Yeah.
Okay,
So
let's start
we
on
start
the-
Okay,
our
and
presentation.
Yeah,
today-
because it's gonna be a long presentation. So yeah, we could have a lot of talk after that too. Okay.
We prepared something for you all, so let's start.
Okay, so before we're going into the detail of the project of the Kaengkhoi Manifesto or คำแถลงการณ์ของ Kaengkhoi, we are going to go a little bit of the introduction first, how like things come up or everything has begin or something like that. And this project is happened because it's during the pandemic time, and we kind of like try to find something to work on or kind of like work together, because we are after graduate for like 1 year and almost 2 years. Is as many of us know that the experience when you kind of like working in a field or working in a professional is completely different from when you are kind of like working on a project, like you're working with your thesis or something like that, because it's completely have a lot of the professional work require a lot of things that have to relate, and sometimes you cannot you want to like think more, or get more like try or experiment something. Sometimes like you working in a field, it's hard to experiment compared to competition, which make you kind of like allow you to expand border. So the competition is professional competition. Is the place is located in a Kaengkhoi community city. It's city located in Salatburi province, and the way that they want us to think about how to develop with the kind of like what the future of the city could be, and how we have to concern about like the sustainability, a lot of stuff like that. That is the purpose of the project in the first place. So the project, as Achanti says, is a collaboration with ASA, or Associate of Siamese Architects, and it is kind of like at last it's come with a good outcome. So we kind of like won with the first prize. And okay, so now we're going to start with the presentation. So this is all the presentation that we use to present during the every time. So you're gonna get like the whole experience, how we going through that during the every when we go into the judge, and like everything has been used this kind of presentation the same. So when we start with this project, so we think about like when we start by the asking first about like what remind of the city, or what make you remind of the Kaengkhoi city, or why do you think about it, and the origin how Kaengkhoi become a place like this nowadays. So we explore into kind of like the basic of the idea of the people, that is the way that how memory has come play a kind of like important role in their life, how they perceive or understand the certain place or certain context of the place. So somebody might experience Kaengkhoi as like a place of history, like because it's involved with a lot of like World War II and a lot of during of that period. Or somebody gonna say that it's about architecture in the place, like temple, stuff like that. Or somebody gonna say it's because of the like attraction place, like the train station. Or even about like the food, because somebody said that like food is a very important part in a Kaengkhoi city, as we do the research along. So we can see that Kaengkhoi is not just come from like single or only one perspective of the place, but it's come from the diverse experience and memory which combine together to become a Kaengkhoi city. As which we use this quote from the art historian, the Urban Panofsky, said that the world of tomorrow is made out of fragment of the past. Because of this, all of the fragment combined together. The fragments mean there's a memory which combine together as a kind of like, we call it a collective memory. This kind of collective memory has been expressed, that you can understand the place of the Kaengkhoi not just only by the single event, but by the kind of like the connection between each individual event combined together. And that's why is the beginning of our drawing, that we try to illustrate how the complex relation of the historical building and the society. And not just only about, we think about how the Kaengkhoi has become like this. We also think about the impact that could create a problem, or could or the threat to the community in the future, or what they have to challenge with. So because of this, we list like four main important impact that could happen. So the first one is a high-speed railway, because the development is going to be they're going to develop the high-speed railway pass through the city. So it's going to have a lot of impact to the fabric of the city. Because of this, we have to concern a lot about how we could deal with this kind of change, and how the community could live with this kind of like infrastructure in the future. And the second one is the movement of the local people and how people in Kaengkhoi have moved into Bangkok to find the work, something like that, and how the existing business have to deal in Kaengkhoi, how to deal with the current context, or how could we bring people back into the place, into the community, and they something like that. And the third one is the COVID, the problem that we already know that how it's affect to our daily life and how we have to adapt ourselves with it. And lastly, the climate change, as we can see that how it start to impact to our environment, especially the kind of like many natural disaster that we have to deal with, and how the city have to prepare for the future like that. So the decided city required to look at the diverse perspective and provide a flexible plan for the unstable change that's going to come. Because of this, we come to the conclusion that architecture has become a medium to link between the fragment of history and maintain the memory of the existing place. The existing city artifact has become an integral part of a future city development. It's represented as an object for communication between city and people. It is very important to create a narrative about the city by allowing history to speak back for itself. But little intervention is necessary to make a certain part of the city more friendly and creating value for the local and visitor. And so the next is the urban analysis, and I'm gonna give to Jan to talk about that. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. About the urban analysis, actually, the urban analysis or site analysis for architecture take very important places in this project, because, well, in order to design something for the city, in our point of view, is has to be something that grow with the city, not just some new stuff that you wanted to plug in without not concerning anything about the context at all. So understanding it is to do an analysis and then trying to know what they actually wanted. So first, we started with this map. This is the map of Kaengkhoi City and the scope that we kind of interested in to work on this design. So you can see that the character of Kaengkhoi City actually is a representative of a combination between the city and the nature fabric. And also the first one that we kind of like look into is the circulation. There's three main roads that cut through the city that we think is quite important and interesting. Is the first one is the brown line, which is cut through the whole city in the horizontal way. It's called the Sutbantat Road, which is one of the largest road in the city. And the secondary road is the Phat Phayap Road, which is the light yellow one. And also the most interesting one is the orange line, the Riap Santisuk Road. You can see that it connects from the red area down here, from the train rail up across along the city to the Basalt River. Talking about the circulation, well, alongside of it is the city context or the hardscape of the city. We divided it into 5 main areas. So the first one is the train area, and kind of like the urban fabric that comes along with the train station area. And the second one, moving next to the blue zone, is mostly the government buildings and school that lies alongside of the Phat Phayap Road. And the yellow zone is the commercial area, which is next to the Sutbantat Road. So most of the commercial area around here will kind of like a standalone building or larger scale than the red zone, which is also a commercial building but contains mostly the shop houses, and the scale is quite smaller. But it connects all of the zone together, kind of like the center, the heart of Kaengkhoi, which also connects to the right side, the green one, which we wanted to call it like a cultural area, because inside of that area there's temples, market, and also heritage architectural that they preserve quite well to this day. And for the softscape, you can see here that the existing softscape can make Kaengkhoi has like a very high potential to be living in the green city. But while we think for future development, we can add on some more green, like alongside of the road and in between the city. And talking about the future development, so there's one thing that also definitely gonna impact the urban fabric, which is the high-speed railway. The coming of high-speed railway actually is kind of like gonna change all the buildings that surround it, and also the scale of it definitely gonna impact the city. Another zone that we are thinking is quite very interesting is the Basalt River area. As some of you might already know that Thai people actually lifestyle related to the riverside like for a really long time since like historical ages. So Basalt River takes important place in the city culture and also one of the main attraction points of Kaengkhoi City. So you can see that in between these two spaces is the city area, the orange part, which the scale is quite small because there's houses and buildings that lies upon in between. So if we wanted to connect all of the zones, we would like to propose like a buffer area, which is this orange line, and to connect the urban fabric from this red zone up to the green zone, which is from the train Kaengkhoi Junction to the Basalt River. In order to do that, we divided our design into three main zones. Starting out with the high-speed railway area. Next to it is the buffer area. So the high-speed railway, as I mentioned, it was going to be like a very large scale of development. So we wanted to suggest a buffer area which is quite a medium scale, so it can link more to the small scale of the city, which we also wanted to propose like a small intervention, a design that kind of like pop into the city in small scale and up to the medium scale to connect more to the large scale of the river area. And also another thing that we would like to talk to that we use a lot in this design is the inclusive design. This kind of key is the way we consider finding like diversity ways to design for everybody to use, not only physically, but also mentally. And we will explain more how our final design came out.
Okay, so next, I will get into the details of our final design, and I'll explain it by going through the two section drawings, including the first one, section A, the city section, and the second one, section B, which is the riverside section. So starting from the first section at the right, starting from the arrival spot, the Kaengkhoi railway station. So we propose a renovation to the building to respond to the future plan of the high-speed railway that's how I mentioned before, and the increase in scale of the building will act as a buffer between the new high-speed railway and the existing city, and this will result in a seamless connection between the two of them. And before we move on any further, as Jan and Talay mentioned earlier about the concept of connecting fragments of the city by using architecture as a medium, we at first we had a holistic approach. So we added new elements to the city to narrate and bond the stories together. As you can see, we added elements such as flags and banners that are super simple. Then next, we propose another renovation to the old train depot to be a new museum. This museum to collect stories of the city for the locals and for the visitors. And then next, we and the on the slide, the right is the old train station and the left is the old train depot. And okay, next we move on more towards the city. We distributed small interventions to underutilized spaces around the city, to bond the life together and to generate new activities and more interaction. These small interventions also include things like street lamps, which we think that should also concern our sustainability. Being able to generate energy by using sunlight for instance. And we also integrate green to architecture, and we distributed them all over the city, as you can see on the section. And this is the existing the city vibe. Okay, and next. So to the very left of the section, this is the last part of this section. It's the abandoned building at a prime intersection in the city. So according to our research, this building is located in a strategic area that has a shortcut between the city to the riverside. And our new proposed development, the building will be a hub of art and culture, dedicated to a variety of programs related to both. These programs are such as exhibitions, showcases, performances, conferences, etc. And moreover, the facade of the building is also very attractive to the people passing by, because it is in the corner of the intersection, and the building is very pronounced. And we think that this will be a new landmark. Okay, and next slide. This is the existing building, is the abandoned building. Yes, and the next, we are moving on to the next section, which is the riverside section. So from the new art and cultural center that I just mentioned, we kept the existing shortcut to the riverside as the main entrance, which is the right picture. And people will pass through the existing market before exposed to the new stunning riverside area. And over here at the entrance, universal design is very important, as well as the arrival experience. And this area will distribute visitors to different spaces along the riverside. From the section, it's located at the right of this slide. So from the main entrance, moving to the left towards the Kaengkhoi temple, we created a new pathway between the existing riverside market to the temple to be an elevated art garden. Embraced with greenery, sculptures, and art. This garden will express art and cultural values of the city to express art and cultural values of the city, and the architecture should be very minimal, because this area contains an existing greens. We focus on minimal intervention. Yeah. And then to the very left, we arrive to the riverside area of the temple. We propose a new stone garden, and also the World War II memorial, which the existing memorial was located inside the temple, but we relocated to be here, to make it more pronounced and to celebrate the beauty of Kaengkhoi cultural and historical values. And then next, we move to the right to the riverside market. This is the existing picture of the temple. Okay, so this is the riverside market. Is the existing market. We didn't propose much to the space as it is already a multi-functional space. It acts as a center area along the riverside. We just propose new activities that can happen here, such as pop-up exhibitions or street performances, to make the area more lively. And because we added a lot of things along the river, we need to add a new central area that includes indoor public amenities. For example, public toilets, lockers, gathering area, and information center, which also located here. And this is the existing picture aerial view of the existing riverside market, the elevated platform. Yes. And next to the riverside market, this area also consists of existing greens. So we decided to make it into a riverside park. Simple as that. Because the city already has a big public park in the city, we didn't want to propose a copy of it. We proposed what we proposed was a space for new leisure activities, such as an elevated swimming pool and a riverside skate park. And yes, because the existing greens, we also concerned on minimal intervention. And then the last section of this section, the right part of the section. So tourism is super important anywhere around the world, and therefore we propose a designated zoning for tourist accommodations. These accommodations shouldn't affect the area and the scenery of the riverside. So there should be minimal intervention. For example, tented camps. And this is the end of our final design. And next, the last part, I want to summarize and recap a bit on the overall of our project. So by looking at the two sections, we can still recognize the city. And back to our initial idea, we didn't want to make changes drastically. A lot of teams made strong statements by adding enormous designs and like creating big demolitions, which are possible, but we think differently. We only created interventions in different scales and carefully distributed them around the city, defined by its context. And these interventions are mediums to connect the fragments of the city together. And I believe that these two drawings bring back the life in the past and sustain and support the present, and also get ready for the future. It is a place for everybody, and being able to attract new generations to come home. That is also how we define sustainability in our project. And thank you very much. That is the end of my part. I'll hand over to Tale to give some speeches to end our presentation.
Yes. So kind of like the planning has become a manifesto to express the direction in which city and local people tend to go forward. A master plan that refused to accept the death of the city. The Kaengkhoi area has transformed itself into a living museum, not just an ancient place that preserved the past, but one that echoed the never-ending history of Kaengkhoi society. Okay, so this is kind of like the end of our presentation. But as we already talked to Ajanti about, we understand that everyone that listening kind of like working on the thesis project or research of the for their thesis, and kind of like, or maybe some of you are interested into do the competition, and maybe you don't know what to start with or something like that. So so we have decided to analyze our working process from this as an example into each part, so that could help, maybe like you could a little benefit from this thing, and you could find some starting point for your research or anything. Okay, so the working process is kind of like it's not simple like this, but it's easier when you represent to the linear process. And you can see that working process, as we know since like undergraduate, that things divide into like 3 main parts, like research, design, development, or production, something like that. Maybe other people have something else differently, but it's what we think. And even it's look like that, but actually it's a little bit each one step is complex, and it's just one end and then second is continuous, something like that. Sometimes when you do the research, it might be overlap with the time that you have to do the design development. So you have to understand at first that it is kind of like you have to understand that sometimes it's a bit complex when you're working on your process. Sometimes it's a little bit chaos, I think. Okay, so we start with the first part. So that is my part. So why the research? So if we look into kind of like nowadays data, as you can see from this picture, is maybe in the 10 years ago, you see a few of, you might saw just a few of this kind of like data visualization. But nowadays a lot of things like this, as you can get through all the your Facebook page, and you see a lot of visualized data that try to explain a lot of the stuff with kind of like easy diagram or pictogram, something like that. Because I think that data has become a very important part in our society right now in the present, because you know, the way that we could collect the data, and the power of data has become a very strong thing that you know, any government or any private sector that have a lot of data could have benefit from that things. So because of this, I think that it's pretty interesting thing that the word that I found in I read the article, but I'm not sure where it is, so sorry about that. But they say that our modern society has become too complex to understand by single solution. So I think that is pretty obvious, right? Because I think that nowadays you cannot just use just a simple solution to apply to anything, because you know, the way that the relation between things, or the relation between you can see that is many fields become multidisciplinary, like things connect with other things, and especially architecture. You can see that how we cannot use just only the single design, something like that, to you cannot use just a single design to kind of like explain things clearly. So kind of like how you could develop a new thing in this kind of like complex society that we live in. So research become a very important part, and I think that this has been applied into many universities around the world, and also in SoA+D too, that how we use research and data analysis has become play like a very important role. And I also believe that the design cannot just create an overall solution, but research is important key to lead to that things. So I know that everyone know about like the basic skill of research, but I would just like to talk about research during the pandemic a little. So like give you a little bit of what we do. So these all things that we use as example, we have been used for this project too. So I don't believe that if you kind of like do the research from using just only online or internet resource, you cannot make a great work. I think that nowadays very different from like 5 years ago, something like that. Okay, so next slide, please. Thank you. So we can see that you know, now we can use like a different kind of thing has been applied. So I think that one of the good things, like a historical map or the map or data or something like that, that you know, you can use them existing urban planning of the or plan or something like that to use it for your research base. And you can see that how you can use like a historical picture or painting or something like that could be a very important part or tool that you use to critique about like history in the past, and how you could use it to compare with the present, or the way that how you could deal with the way that you deal with your design or your project. And next please, thank you. And or the Google Street View, I think that is very important because especially this project, the Kaengkhoi Manifesto, we use a lot of because of the pandemic problem. We cannot be in there, and my friend cannot be there too. So it's become a very important tool to use it for, look at the size and the context, the surrounding. It's take a little bit time, but I think that if you use is right, you could find like you could it could benefit you a lot, and especially this project we want because we use this kind of technology. We don't have to go to there at all because we use it carefully, and we use a lot of research to help on that, or something that like the historical like the history, like the video or the record of the history from the now, like you can go to the YouTube and you can search for all of this. You can see that how they have a lot of video that record of the history part. So yeah, just go to look at it, and I think that is very helpful. As you can see that to create a good project, not just only the production skill, but the combination of research and good production process, as you already see in our project, that we carry along from the research to the end. You could see that we carry all the history, theory, and the science analysis together along into the final process of the project, and you can see that how the work come out and still keep the same of the concept or something like that we start to think about that in the first place. So I think that you should remind about that, how you could carry on with your research. You have to think about that. I think that is very important as you currently do the research on your thesis project, that what is kind of like important part in your research, and how you could carry along with the design in the end. Because if you kind of like do the research and then you just left it behind, you don't apply it into your design work, is something that pretty useless. So yeah, so you have to think about that. So I think there's no kind of like success format or something like that, but you should find the best way for yourself for the research and the strategy that you should use. Okay, so next I pass to Jan about research to schematic. Thank you.
So yeah, like Tale already said, that you need to find a way to translate your research into some kind of ideas or schematic design. So this is just an example that we use in this project. This is like a quick idea that we kind of like is our first draft of all of us. So you can see that there's like a lot of ways that you can use as a medium to kind of like explain and explore what you actually wanted in your design. You need to think about like what is the vision or the future that you see in your design, but also you need to carry along the history and the analysis that you already done, and also along with the theory that you already learned of. So all of this, you need to kind of like work it out into actual tangible work, something you can actually see or actually can kind of like explain it by itself. Because it's quite hard if you didn't find anything like, if you just think in your head, it's just gonna be stuck there, and you cannot kind of explain it to yourself and also to others. So there's hundreds of ways that you can choose. Like there's also collage, sketches, 3D modeling. You can use anything that fits to your ideas. And another thing that I wanted to talk about is to like when you do your research, sometimes you need to think about like what is actually your statement or the things that you wanted to do in the end of your design. Not actually what it's going to look like, but to make things straight out. So conceptual drawings that we do in this project take important place in that process. And this is quite a good example that I wanted to tell to you guys, because you can see that this conceptual drawing is actually a combination between collages and also graphic 3D modelings all together. This thing is kind of abstract, but it helped us a lot to kind of like understand it clearer, and then to kind of like propose a strong statement that we all three in the team understand directly, so we can push it together further. So now, after you have your research and kind of like translate it into the schematic, by testing it, experimenting it, modeling it, or even sketch it any way that you want is part of the design process. And you all aiming for kind of like doing a design that full with details, have your 3D models, perspective, and drawings. So the in-between part, which quite important actually, is how you develop your design. So you need to carry on your analysis, do the diagram, and not just put it there in the left side, but you need to carry along and link it to the right side, which is the final production of your design. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the design development in this project. So as we have mentioned a little bit before, well, this project actually happened in the pandemic time. So, and also one of our team members, he is studying abroad. So yeah, I'm gonna talk mostly about how to work in the age of pandemic. So as a team, we need to kind of like gather all of our ideas, and 3 different person delivers 3 different angles and 3 different perspectives. So from 3 different angles, actually, like I mentioned before, we need to kind of like develop our idea and actually do it. You need to actually kind of like find a way to form your idea into pieces. So it's very important actually in this time, because if you kind of like do your work online, it's quite hard for you to just explain it from your mind to other people to understand. Like, well, as a team, you need to kind of like just bring it out, and then if it's more tangible, or it's like a sketches, a 3D models, or even just like a sketches that just kind of a conceptual one, it helps a lot to kind of collaborate to each other. And also in your individual project in school, I think to actually work on it, if you have more scheme or more ideas, it's gonna help you able to kind of like link with your advisor. So your advisor will understand more what you think, and you can get more feedbacks, and then you can develop more out of it. So from different design, also giving different details into it, because design development part is not only about the physical. You're not only wanted to form something up, but you also need to think about the details of your building, your architecture, or your design. You need to think about like what the user actually want, and think back to your research, that your statement that are all of this answering that thing that you actually proposed in the first place. So yeah, the details also very important. So after that, you need to kind of like combine all these pieces together in our context. So we combine all of our ideas together, because, well, our ideas actually come out in like different scales. We look at this project from different point of views, different scale, and then it's quite surprisingly came out nicely to combine. And next, I will pass on to Win to explain more about how we combined it all.
So I think there's not much to talk about the production part, as Jan already mentioned a lot. But I just want to talk about how we think about the production from the beginning, and to give some advice to you guys, because it is a competition project, right? And we wanted to add something to the project to make it stand out from others. Like we can call it like a wow factor. And we had a really clear intention altogether to express our idea in a way that people can relate and understand easily. And after we concluded our schematic design, we made a decision together to use section drawings to as our main medium to narrate our proposal. Because sections connect and narrate in a way, in a linear way. So we think that it is simple enough for people to follow. And because of the time frame and it is a group project and that we work 100% online, we have to build up our graphic from the beginning. Our graphic direction has to be really clear because we didn't want to do something and then throw it away and then redo it again. And I think the best way to communicate is to produce. And if you just talk, right, people might misunderstand or don't get your message completely. And I think that if you produce more, you can see more, and when you can see more, there's more to develop. And your advisors too, they can give you more useful comments. And nowadays, there's a lot of ways to visualize your ideas, and you guys should be creative about it. Do what enhance your design. Just like don't just follow your friends. I think that when you produce or when you like visualize something, right? Not only the schematic design or the design development part, but also the final outcome. Uh, don't try to do everything perfect. Just focus on what is relevant to your design, and others can be minor. Like you should put efforts on those that are relevant to your design. And how you present your work is super essential. Because you imagine like you imagine you're one of your ajahn and you walk into a jury with every perspective from Lumion, and then same number of drawings, similar diagrams. I think that's like that's very boring. You guys are design students, so you have to also design your presentation. That's super essential. And I think that's all that I want to talk about the production part. But I also to talk about something more. I noticed something down related to Tale's part about research, because Ajahn T told us that like it's very hard to translate research to design, right? And I want to give you my advice about it, but it's only my opinion, it's only my way. I'm not saying that my way is like 100% correct. So first of all, about research. So for me personally, as a academic project or thesis project, I think you shouldn't do something that is super research based, because I think that's very boring. But don't get me wrong, research is very important, but try to not do something like 100% research based, because that's boring. And I think you guys should make it fun. You should put in vision, you should put in enjoyment to the projects where to me stand out. And for the research, during the research part, like most of the time people research and don't know what they want to research, so they research everything. And then when you analyze that research, the outcome of that research, you don't know how to apply those to the design. So my advice would be, first, you should when you research the overall picture of your project, right, you should prioritize your research, your intention, your information, set up like the priority of each part. This is very important, this is minor, blah blah blah. And then make a clear statement of what do you want to achieve. Like make it super clear. What do you want to achieve? And others can be like can be minor. And don't grab everything from the research. Be focused. And then sometimes you're stuck during the research part, right? You are stuck during the research part. My advice would be don't be afraid to start your design early. Like if that time frame you're not in the schedule of starting the design yet, but I think you shouldn't be afraid to design ahead, because when you design, you know what you want to research, so you can go back and research what do you want to find. Like design research and design can work like simultaneously. They can like you can do both at the same time. Yeah, and I think that's all that I want to talk about the research part.
Actually, I agree with Win a lot about the one that you need to know when is enough when you do research, because, well, I think one of my advisor, I'm not sure who, but once told me that we're an architect, not a researcher. We need to know like what kind of research we can use and what we actually aiming for. We did not need to be an expert like 100% on like other field, but you need to understand what actually combine to create your design. You did not have to research everything from scratch. You can use like some kind of like research that already confirmed, or well, you can use other people research and then adapt it, create it into your own ways to explore it and explain it, and then develop it into your own design. So it's quite like a very thin line to know which is enough and which is yeah. So I think going far and understand more about your research and your design is very important, don't get me wrong, but design is also take very important places. The aesthetic, the way the buildings looks and work with the people, also important. So yeah, that is my point of view on that. So next I will hand over to Tale to kind of like end this session.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything to talk much, but yeah. So I think that Win and Jan has already explained it clearly. So yeah. I think that's it. I think that just the last thing that should say that you should not wait. So if you want to do something, or you want to start to do the competition, you should start it now. Just I think just do it first, and other thing will come up along, and then you will start to figure out. But if you never start it, you never know what's gonna happen. It's like us, we just think that we're gonna do it, and then we do it. That's it. Okay. Yes.
Yes, so I have some questions about competition. How can you start your competition? Which one is your first competition? And how what inspired you to start doing the competition? What do you want from it, from doing the competition?
Maybe Tale first, because he actually started doing a lot of competition.
Yeah, I mean, but for three of us together is like this is the first time, I think. But I think it's take time to find like people with good chemistry together. It's very important part to do. It's same as like doing any kind of project, even in your undergraduate. Like you sometimes you have to find that people that it's like go along with you, could handle your attitude, or it could could give you a strong sense of, like, if you're strong in a research part but you're not strong in a process or something like that, or you're not strong in a production, sometimes you find somebody that could help you, support you on that part, and we create things together or something like that. Because actually it's pretty a long time before we meet each other, because before that I think I did a competition since like second year, but
Yeah,
I'm honestly I'm not really that good, because I struggle a lot. I did like almost I'm not sure, but I think almost 20 already. But just
20
during the
competitions, you mean?
I never
well,
know
around
that.
like 15, something like that.
Superstar.
15. No,
Yeah.
it's not superstar, because I have I lose a lot, and I think I just won just only one, but I just like got honorable mention from the other one, from like by the SYS Steel. They have like a lot of competition every year, and I just won that honorable mention, just that one. The other one, like I'm not really success with that much, because I don't know. I think that's because I'm a still student, and I am a
It's
lot
like a
of
practice, I think.
yeah, and a lot of thinking, like I think a lot, and then the way that the production of I focus less on the production all the time. So when I study undergraduate, so it's become my problem. And sometimes you do a lot of conduct of research, and then at last things not get through. I think it's happened to everyone, and that's what happened to me too. So yeah, and so but this happened because we are kind of like I think that because everyone is already worked for some, we have to admit that, like working for several years a little, you start to know that what you have to do as your part. And, it's become easier to manage, because if you start to do the competition in the first place in undergraduate and then study, it's hard to say that what you should start or something like. So I think it's good. I didn't do that much, but I might suggest that sometime if you have a competition to do, you could ask like your tutor, your ajahn, to like ask them about how you could start it. That you a guide as for something. That is a good thing to start with, because during that time I didn't ask people much, so it's take me a lot of time to struggle with how to do the competition. And I have to learn from it by experience. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like a practice,
Okay.
actually.
Actually, yeah. I think it's important for every students to kind of like take themselves from the frame and come out of that frame to do something else apart from something in academic area. That's very good. And I can see that your presentation is quite like very inspiring and informative presentation. I really like the way you approach to the problems by looking back to the fragments. I mean, for this competition,
Yeah.
and it's the way you're looking back to the fragments of the memory and tie them together through mediums like architecture and its narrative sequences. Since this project concerned a lot with making memory alive, it must be very hard to collect those information, right, about the story and their perception, like the people perception, the local people perception there, like what and why they are proud of their city, or why young people don't have engagement with the city. Could you elaborate? How can you get those information while not being allowed to be there? It must be very, very hard to get this kind of soft information, right?
Well, I think we need to thank the ASA, the Siamese associate also, because they provide us like quite a lot of information, and actually kind of have a live session, like a talking session with the people there, and also
That's great.
they kind of like a walk through video for us to see. But also I think we also did our own research a lot
Yes.
also on like to explain it about.
Yeah, because I can see that you took a lot of time doing the research, right? And when you explain about the process along the way, like you have the overlapping between research and start to analyze and decide development, and that overlapping part is not just only overlapping, right? It's kind of like loop that you have done it again and again, back and forth, right? So
Yeah.
so that is a very crucial information that you have uh, given to the students, to your junior, that the thing is not like a clear cutting edge, but it have to have something overlapping, and you have done it again and again until you can crystallize it, right? I think this is very important, and that's good to be given to the student that way. Mm-hmm. Okay, I believe that many of our audience will have something to know more and would like to ask questions or share conversation with all of you. So please feel free to do so by leaving comments or questions under the Facebook Live or YouTube that you are in. And if you would like to have your questions go right through our speakers here, you can come and join our StreamYard with the link at the bottom left corner of the screen. Okay. Okay, I can see one question here. From your research, how much do you find the local people aware about their beautiful art and culture? Yeah, that's from the, here. Oh, not that. Okay, this one, right. The same one.
Okay. So to answer that, I think what Jan already said, right? So first of all, the ASA organization provided us a lot with information, like interviews with the local people, talks with the local people, right? I think that's the first part. And the second part, according to our own research, the city like try to integrate art to the city, and that like that have been working. Like as you can see at Kaengkhoi, there are like many graffitis, artworks around the city, right? And that's one thing that we think that people also value this, and also it attracts like many visitors to the city too. And the third part is as I already mentioned, right, that you should put like yourself to your project as well. And I think that art and culture is very important, like anywhere around the world. So we want to just present this to the city. Yeah, I think that's the overall.
I also remember that we kind of contact the local staff or local people. Then they told us that they believe that Kaengkhoi has a very highly potential. Something about that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and also like sometimes you didn't expect to get the information, or like you think that information really like not possible to gain, right? But in reality, you have to try to find every source of information. Maybe just like one phone call, you get the whole information, like the whole thing that you want. Yeah, for example, in our case, the drawings of the existing riverside market, right? We didn't think that like we would get those drawings or those like information, but I tried to contact the person who in charge, and then the next day they send us everything, the CAD, the AutoCAD drawings, every dimension. So I think that's also very important.
Okay, let's find.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
no questions right now. We're waiting. Oh, okay. We've got some more questions here. Do you see the question? No? Okay. Here. Have you have you ever got a chance to have Kaengkhoi people feedback on your project? The first question. This is the first question.
Who wants to answer first?
Jan,
Yeah, one by one. So let's start with this
actually, after we kind of like won the competition, there's like, what do they call, like this exchange session that the Siamese associate, also the local committee in Kaengkhoi, kind of like held together online via Zoom, so anybody can join. So there's like a lot of parties, like teachers from school, the local government, what do they call them, and also like the เทศบาลนะคะแล้วก็ also there's like teens and also architects that already work on this project join us in that session, so we have a chance to kind of like present our work again, and also other teams got a chance to kind of like explore and exchange that kind of ideas, and yeah, so we got some feedback from that.
How do you like the project? Do you like it a lot? And which part that you like it best, like it most?
Well, for me first, maybe. Okay, so I think I like the way that we choose to use the section graphic as a main purpose. Yeah, maybe others. What's your idea?
Oh, in the feedback from the local.
Oh,
yeah, towards the project. Which part of the project that they really like, and
well,
are there any differences between the elderly, I mean the adult people, and the teenagers that have different prefer?
Yeah. So
for me, I think when we did present our project to the local people, so like other teams also presented as well, right? And most of the feedback they gave to other groups like were mostly they created big demolition to the site, right? And then they like they put in something like completely new, and it changes the city like that. Which I mentioned that that's possible also, but for us, I think we kept according to our section drawings, right? We kept the vibe, the existing vibe of the city. We contain those, but we just added things to spice the city up. I think that's like the very important part that why we won the competition. Yeah, I'm not sure that answers the question or not.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, that's answered my question straight.
Yeah. Because
and
I think
do we have another more questions? What is the most? Okay.
Oh no, I just gonna add on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember that the judges told us that that it's nice to kind of like we preserve most of the existing, and then our design is not like wanted to stand out that much, but also concerned a lot about the local people, and also the idea of the buffer and the scaling and stuff.
Yeah. They can still feel like they are at home, at their at the city, like right? The existing ones still there, not like some giant different thing come into the site that they're not familiar with. I think this, yeah. I like this idea. I like your idea a lot about this kind of minimal interventions. I think the users, the people, local people there would appreciate that also. And we have one more question. Actually, a lot more questions. The other one is, what is the most difficult part of the work? I'm not so sure that you have already answered that question. Yeah. Oh,
The
yeah.
most difficult part,
Yeah, of the work.
This is
Maybe
for
answer the questions,
me,
right? It's the most difficult part of the work.
I think for me, one thing was we didn't go to the actual site. So we
Yeah.
didn't we didn't like know the actual vibe of the space, which that is super important. You know, like if there's not no pandemic and we are allowed to go, you're like you can go to the actual site. That's like you should.
Yeah, if you have a chance, I think it's better.
Yes. And
Hmm.
because we didn't know the actual vibe, like the sense of the actual place, right? I think if we did go there, I think there will be a lot more to add into our project. So I think that's
Yes.
the missing
Agreed.
part.
Yeah. You have to go through the Google view, right? Along the
Yes.
street
Yeah.
to see the
We
vibe of
walk
the
a lot.
city. And it's not compared to go to the actual site itself. So sad, no? Yes, another question. What is the most important thing you gain from doing this project?
So
Quite
yeah,
hard question.
it's quite difficult. Let's say that I think that the win is just one part. To the price, everything is just one part. Is temporarily. Like the fame is just like come and gone. Like maybe like another just few weeks and then people just forgot about it. I mean, it doesn't matter that much. Nowadays, everyone can be like, a superstar for 2 days and then, everyone forgot you. So everyone forget you. So I don't think that is necessary nowadays. But I think that important part is the way that, you realize that when you are working with who and then it's work. I think that is very important in our profession because we cannot work alone. That's what I think, and you have to. I think almost every kind of job you cannot work alone, and this is one of the important part in our field too. That you have to deal with a lot of people and with nowadays a lot of complex thing going on. You just cannot deal with by yourself. So when you found like a people that you could work together as a team, and then it's kind of like making it go forward in the direction that you want or prefer together. I think that is very important. So the value of do the competition is not the price, but it's the way that how you could develop that kind of relation with other people, and maybe like for the further you can maybe you work on together in the next project or something like that. Or maybe I think that maybe some of you that working during the undergraduate, you might find like people that you could work together from the start, like do the competition, and you found, because I think that mostly of the our thesis work is like you working alone, and is one to our like our architecture education is like to kind of like it's just the way it is. It's not like let you do it alone, and you have to be good at everything. But actually you when you got realize in real life that you cannot rely on yourself only, is impossible. You're gonna do everything nicely by yourself. I think it's pretty hard. So this is like a good chance to working together, because at last you face the reality that you have to work as a team. And when you find a good, I think the great thing is that you just find a nice people that you can work with, and you might in the future you can work together. You can I don't know, build a firm or something like that is
Do
a great
something.
thing. Yeah, for me.
I think
Okay, so
also
this
the
team
dynamics.
is your
Yeah.
ideal team already. Yeah,
For now.
this team, that your ideal team.
Yeah, just keep maybe doing some things else next or something like that. We just think about that, but yeah, for now, yeah. It's hard to say
Okay,
about.
I
Okay.
quite agree with you. Yeah, Jan, do you have something more to say? Because
Oh, no,
about this.
I'm saying that the dynamic of doing competition is kind of like adding dynamic to your life. It's like, like when you're student, you just study doing the studio work, or when you're working, you need to do on like some project on and on and on, and sometimes you forgot like what actually you actually like, or sometimes you question yourself like, do you actually wanted to kind of what kind of like major or something that you're interested in. So it's kind of like doing competition is kind of very, it has a lot of varieties for you to choose. So it's kind of like a very short time for experiment, like which kind of side of designing that you're kind of interested in, or what process that you're really good at, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, actually, for the thesis, I think students you can have brainstorming for the ideas for your thesis. Also, you don't have to work alone with your idea. You can talk with your friends also, right? That would help
That
from the
actually help a
comments of
lot.
our seniors here. Yeah,
because
Absolutely.
because
yeah. So
like
feel
when I
free to
was
do
in
that, right?
fifth year, in my studio
Mm,
with my friends in the same studio, we help each other a lot. We kind of like after every
yeah,
presentation, we kind of come together and then comment each other, or sometimes we translate like what actually the comments are in our own terms and stuff.
yeah. Okay, we have another questions here. Playing. How many people do you have to talk to know what direction the local wants their city to be? How many people?
I think that it's hard to say like because like for the competition during this time of pandemic, it's hard to talk to to the local people that much, but I think that it's kind of like have some. I think that it's kind of like a phenomenon that's going on around the world, that how like a small city try to adapt in the way that people start to realize that Bangkok is not the great place to live sometimes, and then like they want to go back, and how they could like be proud of their city, a small city, something like that. I think that is something that really happened around the world.
Mm,
And I think that because of this way we could think, because like how what should I say? I should say like we could imagine that how like they're feeling, because the way that with a small city, and with like a lot of a city start to dying, because like a lot of industry has been closed or changed or something like that, and they try to survive by find something that left behind, and like how they could attract back. I think this kind of things happen in a lot of a city around in around the world, and in Thailand also. So I think
Number
that
is
we
actually hard
yeah
to tell, right?
we could see the element that it's like things that important in for them. So we kind of like use that to be a strategy for design. It might not have a direct contact with the people in local that much. We might have a little, right? Because we already talked about that, how he communicate like
like a
act
focus group,
or
is it?
Yes, I think some kind of like focus group and like the after like Win asks for information or something like that, they provide some, and I think that you have a little conversation with them, right? I mean just a little of that. Mm-hmm.
And then, and
Actually,
I
if
think also
yeah,
the people that we talk to and we gain information from, right? They are like representative in their like in
community.
their their community, like in different fields. So I think that all also like important.
Mhm. I think the number actually depends on what's the question also, because if the things that you need, the information depends on the numbers, so you need to have a lot. But if your question actually didn't depends on, like, if it's something that you can actually see in the picture or just by understanding something, it might not like, you might not need to have like 100 or 200 people. Yeah.
And I think that is important for you playing. I'm not sure that you listening or not, but like I think that because you're doing on your thesis research also, I think that the important is not just like you ask a question to the people, but when you ask it, you have to know that what are they exactly want, because sometimes they're not said directly, but you have to realize about how consciously think that what they exactly want. I think sometimes, like when you ask like local people, sometimes like they just say that they want the same thing, something like that, but they don't say it exactly because they might not study in this field. So it's hard to, you have to like think what they really want by the context that they're speaking. It's not just like you listen to them and you take the kind of answer and then put it into your design or put in your research. That's I think that's gonna be a problem, because like you should offer something that value for them, like thing that they really want. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of like read between the line, right?
Yes,
Try to
that's what I
interpret
try to
what
mean.
they
I don't know
really
what lead between the line.
into the line. Okay. We have another. Wow, you are so popular. There's so many questions come up here. What's local think of this project in positive way and negative way as a feedback? Do you think this project will change their daily life? From Wood 045. Part of this question have already answered, right? And you can elaborate more because it's about feedback.
So for the positive way, because we didn't like the same answer, we didn't do something like completely new, right? So it's easy to practically build those. No, because like it's not a completely new like gigantic infrastructure or something like that. It's very easy to do in real life. But on the opposite side, the negative opinion, but not negative opinion about our project, but like in reality, it would be like because of the system, sometimes it's hard to really build something that you think is good because of the whole system in reality. So I think that's kind of challenging, because the initial intention of this competition, also the first prize winner would work with the local people and then like actually develop to make it happen. Yeah, but I think those like intentions are sometimes like going away because of the reality. So I think we want to push like those things to happen in reality too, as well. Yes.
Yeah, it look possible, right? It look possible. It's the way to create a city in the possible way.
Yes.
We still have. Ajahn Chris. Ajahn Chris has
Oh,
here. This is a question from Ajahn Chris. It's a long one. You can read it. How could you guys encourage our current SoA+D students to participate in competitions? and they have some description
I
why
love
he
reading.
asks. First of all, many students don't know about ongoing competitions, Thai and international student competitions. Second, if they know, mostly they hesitate to participate and they need an encouraging push and a guidance by their heroes. Oh, Thale Janwin are their heroes. Come and join me in our sparking unit. And then you can drive all the students to
Competition
encourage
task
them
force.
to participate along the way.
Yeah, we
Can you
would love
imagine
to
that?
join.
Yes.
Okay.
Really.
Maybe we can
So I
each
invited
give like a short speech or something.
Huh?
Oh,
Give a
how could
good
you
encouraging word.
encourage
Say
our
something.
students?
Yeah, encourage. Yeah.
Just do it. uh,
It's
I think
okay
you
not
should
to get any prize, right? Actually, it's okay not to get any prize
It's okay.
at all. Yeah. So just do it. That's why it's just do it, right? And
Yeah.
Because also my first intention that I joined Tali and Jan on this competition, right? I didn't expect about getting any prize because it was also my first competition, and to encourage the students. So you have to think about what do you want like to achieve, not only inside the school, but also like when you graduate and do other things, right? And I think this can be a good part in your portfolio if you want to carry on in this career. For example, if you apply for a firm or international firms, or you apply for your master degree, I think these competitions would be a very essential part in your portfolio. Yes. So, and the second one is what Tele mentioned, that if you work in a group project, you know your friends, right? And you like have different perspectives from your friend, and maybe in the end you can set up like a good team. Yeah, that would be my suggestion.
Yeah. So
learn
for
from each
me,
other also.
Yes.
so
Jan.
well, I think competition comes with a lot of opportunities also, not only for like fame and prizes, but also it comes with like opportunity to explore yourself more. I noticed that it's quite hard to do competition during your studying in like also doing the project in school, because for me at that time I also like doing just a few competition in school, but you need to find like opportunities, so you can go on to international website or maybe just follow up on like ASA or any competition that can come out. And mostly it's just take like very short period of time to gather everything up and decide to do it. And if you start it, you just wanted to finish it because you take a lot of time to it anyway. So after you finish it, even though you did not receive any reward, but if you do your best and then you you try a new style sometimes, it's a very nice portfolio for you. And also it's just like a space that you can taste all of your ideas. Like sometimes you want to try new graphic or ways of presentation. This is also a new ways that you can give like a feedback in very short time. Or like sometimes a competition did not need to be from like a very new project. Like for example, you're going to do this thesis, right? So you put a lot of effort into it. So there's a lot of thesis competition also. You can start looking into it. So after you finish your thesis, you did not have to just like throw it away. So you can just keep it and put it into the frame that they wanted and then compete after that also. So there's many ways for you to kind of like participate in competition. So I think it's very good opportunities, and the things that follows, the things that you get back, also the skills, the collaboration skills, the presentation skills is also very, very nice. thing that you should have for like working as an architect and designers.
And to answer the last part of Ajahn Chris
Chris,
comments that about creating a fruitful competition culture in SoA+D, right? I think that's like you how do I say, like you should also, if you know about the competition, right, and then you want to attend, you can ask your friend to join your team, right? Or you have to like also tell that to your friends. Don't like do this only like
On your own, doing alone.
for your own. Yes. And I think that also help with the SoA+D community. And also I think Ajahns are also can like encourage them. Maybe one of the studio project, if there's a competitive project during that time, I think that's also possible as well.
Yeah, we have done one, and our student got the prize from that also, from studio second year studio. Yeah,
Nice.
it's about sustainable. I forgot the name. It's like apartment unit that being like sustainable. I forgot the name of it. But anyone, if you would like to see that work, it's in our website, so you can have a look. We try to do that also. Thanks, Win, for this suggestion. Looks like there is no more question right now. Wow. Actually, we have a lot of questions. You guys so popular. We have another one. Yeah. Could you tell more about how to select photos or historical image to be one of your sources to analyze? How to select photos or historical image to be one of your source to analyze, choose for analyzing, right?
I think it depends because it's when and how or where you're gonna use the research for, because it's depend on the topic too. I think like if you talk about a place like Bangkok, you can see like and you talk about maybe public space or something like that, you could use like you could go back through like the way that how like a certain place has been used for like a public space, like as you know that like I don't know that I should give an example, but like when you talk about like public space in the middle of Bangkok, something like that, you might go back into the how it's used to operate, or like the way that like a part of the like Sanam Luang is like has been used, applied, something like that. They have a lot of historical archive, because nowadays they don't use it for that anymore, but in the past at how is has been used for like a market, something like that, or people use it for a lot of things. So I think that the way that you use a picture of that kind of like the activity during that moment for that kind of year to compare with nowadays, it could be one of the good example, like how you criticize about how they change the way that you use public space nowadays or something like that. You can use a lot, and like the way that how like and just only the photo of people in daily life is sometimes it can represent how people use their space, on how people they use their kind of like the place of their house, how they could operate their daily life is and how it's different from nowadays. You can use that kind of photo in the past to compare with this like in the present, which is already, I think that if you look in a detail good enough, I think that you can find a lot of things, and you can criticize about it, and you can think about how like is could be or something like that. I think that is always connected between is become part of the things that important that you gonna talk about the future or what it's gonna be. You have to ask back about. Sometimes you have to ask a question about the existing in the present and how it's have come up like this, something like that. So yeah, so I think that you can find a way that people use that a lot, or maybe you just look out for like many of the architecture students around the world. They have been used this kind of like idea or something like that a lot. So yeah. Okay.
Maybe from the news and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
But first of all, you probably need to set the criteria. What kind of picture and
Yes.
I mean,
what information?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, not just searching and searching for nothing. You need to know what you aim for.
Looks like somebody would like to ask the question in this stream yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Probably, yeah.
Nice.
That should be nice. We should wait for them. Let's see who. Yes, we have one. Please turn on. Please turn on your microphone also. Ka.
Hello.
Ka. Okay. We haven't seen you, but we haven't hear you also. We haven't heard. Could you please turn on your microphone, Ka? Thai.
Okay. We haven't seen you, but we haven't
So yeah.
hear you also.
Hello.
Could you please turn on your microphone?
Yes.
Oh, it's a little bit
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, right now we can hear you, but we couldn't see you.
I think it's a little delay.
Delay, right? But we can hear you. So yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe you might. Okay. So Ajahn Chai has already muted, right? It's probably hard to join like this.
Technical problem.
Yeah. This time is our first time doing this also. Probably no more questions. Let's see. I have to skim through all the comments again. Do I miss any questions? Maybe. Did we ask this question already from your research? How much do you find the local people aware about their beautiful art and culture? We have asked this question already, right?
Covered, yeah.
It's in here. Yeah, it's covered already. So
we have a little bit of like
maybe
a slide about how they can contact us more if they have more questions. We have our
emails. Do you want to show how to contact you? Do you want to share your screen?
Like a 5-second screen.
How, if anyone?
And
Okay.
most of them are doing their thesis, right?
So yeah.
Win, could you please? I couldn't hear you. Could you please repeat that again?
Most of them are starting their thesis, right?
Yes, this is during the cooperative learning, but they still need to start their topics, searching for the topics and literature review right now.
In the end, I prepare like tips about like choosing a topic for their thesis. Yeah, but that can be after this session if there's more questions.
Yeah, at this moment I don't see any more questions. So maybe you can another one. Here, since you are
Since
working
you're
mostly online, how could you handle motivation on working?
Deadlines.
Deadlines.
Right.
We have better answer, I
Deadlines.
believe.
and we set up video conferences a lot. So that's also our own deadline. Like today we
Yeah.
have to meet and then share our work. So we have to like do something before
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
Imagine
this is go on.
just like you're having to meet all of your friends and everybody, just only maybe one of them do a lot of work and you haven't done anything. That's quite a big motivation for you to kind of like need to keep up, because you want your idea to be part of the work also. Yeah, something like that.
I think it's
So try to meet online.
this way of working can be applied to all of you, like especially people that doing the research thesis right now, because like when you're working on thesis, you don't have to like, I understand too that like when you work alone, do a lot of stuff, it's like you feel isolated to other people. So I think that like instead of your ajahn to force you to kind of like come together, maybe you, because I think that you already have like a group for just the student, right, in your team, at that like your thesis advisor team, something like that you come together. You should like do the line call, a group call, something like that, and you share the information, stuff like that, and you ask each other that how you doing, and help each other on working on the research and until the production. I think it's the communication is very important, even you working alone, so you can like see and know that how people are going, so you don't feel like you left alone, something like that. So this is like not for you waste a little time of your thesis to just talking with your friend, but it's give you more energy to working and keep going on. So yeah, so I think that not just only the thesis student, but can be applied to during this time to when you're working on museum or
Videos,
house,
right?
yeah, or maybe in the second year, something like that. You should like talk with your friend even you don't see each other in this pandemic. Yeah, keep like talk a lot to each other, gonna help.
It happened to instructors, Ajahn, also, we are here. We have to keep talking to our fellows Ajahns to keep us working. Yeah. Please share about your thesis tips and time management.
Oh, you mean during the thesis year, right?
Thesis.
So
We had something, I believe.
So about choosing the topic, right? I think that's very important. So to choose a topic first, you have to choose the topic you're interested in, right? And you won't get bored after 1 year. But however, 1 year seems to be a long time, right? But in reality, when you're actually working, it's very short. So my suggestion would be don't pick a topic that's very abstract or very complex. Pick something that's very like simple enough for every people to understand, but make that simple topic creative. Like sometimes I see students like try to think of a topic that's very abstract or like very fancy, and then and in the end they have to break those things down into a physical space in the end.
Sometimes too practical.
Yes, so like always think that in the end you execute that project as an architectural project, so that has to be a physical space. So like don't try to I think for me, don't try to think of something too fancy. Just try to do something that's very simple in an innovative or creative way, like expand those limitations, and make it fun. I think that's the most important.
Fun
Make it fun.
So for me, actually about the thesis topic, well, since I was in like fourth year or kind of like the few first week of fifth year, I think a lot of my friends and advisors told me that thesis should be something that come from within, something you're interested in, or something that is a part of you, or something that you believe that you will be able to know more about it in a very short time because it will help you a lot. So that's like a tip. So it's not necessary that you need to do that. You can choose a topic that you didn't know anything about it but you're interested in, but well, the benefit will come more to you if you already know something about it, like maybe the location of it, the site, or the potential users. You know somebody in that kind of group of people, so it might be easier for you to kind of connect to your project more. And when you connect to your project, you will have more motivation on working. And then if you wanted to work on your project, you will kind of find a way to manage it after all, I think. So yeah, so I think the topic and the statement needs to be very strong. So in this time frame that you're having right now, so I think you are trying to find like thesis topic and deciding your thesis statement, right? So if you can kind of like notice what you actually want as a statement, is really gonna help. But you can actually change it afterward. But I really recommend you to kind of figure it out like as fast as possible. And then yeah, I think for me, I think some topics that kind of like relate to you, or it doesn't you sometimes you does not need to know that you don't need to know that what actually kind of type of building you're gonna design, or what kind of like program you need for that topic. But notice that some kind of architectural need to answer that question, and then what kind of program will follow afterward. Yeah.
And another thing that I would like to add is when you pick a topic, right? I think at first you don't think about fixing things too much. Don't think about fixing things or like improve this community and everything too much, because I think in every topic you can put in those anyway. You will put in those during one of your process anyway. So I think don't start with like fixing things, because that by thinking about that, there's a lot of limitation, and it might get like boring. So I think like you have to think of something fun, and then in the end, during one of your process, you put those things into your process anyway, and think that would be another suggestion.
Yeah. Kaengkhoi, I don't know that this is good advice or not from me, because a little bit have this idea come up when I working on my stuff too for like for many years, and then like I just got realized something. I don't know if it's a good advice or not, but let's see. So for I don't know, for people who not going to do the architecture anymore, might not be a good one. But for people that think about going to continue in this field, I think that I found that we should not think thesis as a very like the end of the life, or the end of your education program, because it's kind of like give a lot of pressure, some kind of like pressure that you have to do everything good, that kind of like not like not how to say that, is not like pressure that force you to do good like in a good way. It's like it's forced you to keep panic with stuff, and then I have to do this like and you struggle with that thing, this thing, a lot of things, because you try to
Answer everything.
Yes, answer everything. And then I found that if you think it's more like just another work of your year, you know, you found it's gonna be easier for you to keep going on. You feel more like you can work it through, because sometimes like when you feel like, for me, I remember the time that I do the thesis, it's become a lot of pressure and hesitate, you know, to like which side I'm gonna pick, and a lot of things, because I try to do everything great in this project, because I think that it's kind of like the
last
final work for my undergraduate program, something like that. And the last is come out is just another work, but I mean another work is not mean it's bad, but you know, it's gonna be another great work too. You should not think it's like the end of your education program. So it's not. I don't know. I just feel that it's give too much pressure because of the word thesis, and it's just forced you to like you know, it's kind of like it's drag you along, like you waste your time thinking about what you're gonna do, thinking about what you're gonna think, and you didn't do it at all, and it's waste your time a lot.
The first answer.
Yeah, that's what I think. And sometimes you just like pick it and do it first, and then you fix it. You should do that, but sometimes you just like, oh, okay, what am I gonna do? This is my last project, and I think that's give a lot of pressure to myself.
Okay.
What about time management?
I don't know if it's work or not, but you should think about that, you know.
Be
Actually,
super clear about your intention and what do you want to achieve. It doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be complex. It should be simple.
But it will shine in some way after all. You need to, well, you're a designer, so that's the point. So you need to make your work shine in your own way. Yeah. And talking
So
about
what-
the time management, I understand that she asked about the time management also.
Yes, she asked about that also.
Well, actually, for the research part, I did not find it quite that hard to manage the time. But for the second semester, which is the mostly on the design process, I think that is quite hard to manage your timing, because especially the final one, because it's quite like you need to decide what scale you're gonna go with, what model you're gonna do it with, the material and everything. So it has like a tasting phase that, but sometimes you need to plan it like on your third pinup. You might want it to kind of like do like a pre-final for yourself, like use this kind of style, or you kind of have to plan it like if I use only 1 week, will it be enough for this model or something like that. So it will helps a lot on planning that. Like for me, I actually did like a test with the material, because I wanted to do like a balsa wood model, but then I wanted to use laser cut, so it used a lot of testing. And if I do everything in the final process, I will not have enough time. Yeah, so you need to plan something in advance.
Okay. So
And
plan
about-
suggests that Jan suggests that plan it first and then know when to stop, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so
To get-
so yeah, so
get
you
into the
decide
plan.
it and then start doing it.
Win,
And
do you wanna say
sometimes when you set up your deadline, right? Maybe sometimes you can go ahead, like what I already mentioned during the presentation, right? Like when you research and you're stuck, maybe you can just go ahead and design, so you know what do you want to research more. And another thing that don't get stuck too much in the process before the design, because I think most students got like stuck to it, think about like fancy programs, how do I apply the research to my design, right? But remember, 1 year is not long, and in the end you are a designer, so your final outcome would be a design, right? A design, not a proposal, not a fancy program. If you have those, that's perfect. But in the end, think about your final outcome. You have to design a space. You have to design a physical space. That's the most important is an architectural project. You know, I think that's very important. And I tend to see like most students submit their project in a, it's not a complete design. It's only a proposal. And I think that's not, for me, I think that's not good enough. I think you should complete your design, the whole design. I think that's my opinion.
Yeah, actually, it's you need to complete every design, not just only thesis. You have to complete it
Yes.
at the end.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
for every project actually. Yeah. So think about that, right?
Into a
Okay.
design. Yes.
And
I remember your
Okay.
lecture, Ajanti. The first class I think on thesis prep actually helps me a lot on the thesis topic also, you know. I would like to thank you that.
Yes.
you have a picture
Oh,
of
okay.
something.
Thanks for
yeah.
telling me. Oh, yeah, great to hear that. Thanks a lot. We haven't have any class yet for thesis prep right now. Yeah,
Yeah, you guys
still
should really get a lot of attention to that. Helps a lot.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks. So no more questions right now. You guys must be really tired. I think answer the questions like almost 1 hour answer the questions. So now I think we have reached the end of our session. So because I think working so hard today, huh? 3 of you.
Yeah, you too.
So I have to say thanks for sharing all the valuable information and insight and all the work from the very beginning of the research and design process, and also reveal all your secret ingredients for doing design contests and also the thesis also. So once again, I have to thank you for this special talk, na, Dan, Tele, and Win. Thanks so
My pleasure.
much, Ka.
ครับ
Appreciate. Yeah, and hope
Thank
that
you, Ajahn, so
Ka,
much for
hope that
inviting us.
ครับผม
Yeah. thank you
you're
for inviting
welcome.
us.
Ka.
ครับ
Ka. I hope that we can have something like this again. Before,
And
okay,
also
before, yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I just want to say that for the students, if you're like want to talk to us, don't hesitate to contact us.
Yeah, it's so easy right now nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you forgot to write down your the emails, you can go back to see it from Facebook recording and YouTube, so you can follow and listen to these talks again. We'll come to an end. So before we leave, I would like to remind that we will have more talks in various issues related to all kind of design. So please stay tuned by clicking like and share on our Facebook page. There are a lot of interesting contents there, including tips and tricks for thesis also, for design and other design discipline also in casual format that can be easily digestible. So this is the real end. Thanks for everyone
สวัสดี
and
ครับ
thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
เคค
ยั
รับ
งอยู่